DJ LO-L here. Welcome to Between Two Perms. So we're doing something completely different this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Every episode we've been shouting out the Royce Smith Law Firm. So guess what, sir? What is your name?
Royce Smith.
So we got the HNIC. I don't know if you guys know what that means. Google it. It means he runs the firm. Okay. So today we're gonna do something completely different. It's gonna be awesome. Everyone kept saying that I'm handsome, but I need someone more handsome. So we need some other characters into the episode. So Hi Yella, I just brought him into the phone. Listen, I'm just keeping it real. Okay, let's get right to it. So, two people were, come here, Dad. I want you to get on camera too. Two people were arrested in the capital assault on Officer Signet. So the thing is, you're a lawyer, right?
I am.
So they say they can't charge them with felony murder yet because they don't know for a fact, like, it was trauma, but that might not be the cause of death, right?
That is true. The causation is critical in any case you have, be it whether it's a motor vehicle accident, did it cause your back injury, your leg injury, be it a criminal case, did it cause the death, did the felony associated with the murder or the loss of life cause that loss of life? So that is the legal question that lawyers will be paid good money to debate for a long time.
So you dropped some big words, but can I ask you a causation? If the causation was African American Asian, would the charges be different? No, I'm throwing it out there. I'm just saying, if it was, because that Senator Johnson said, if it was Black Lives Matter, I'd be scared.
Somehow science seems to change when folks that are my complexion or darker are in the defendant's chair. I'll admit that. I'll say that. That's
okay.
True. We all know that.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit darker. That's great. So
I got a better chance than you.
You do? No, obviously you went to law school. You got it. It's a whole different story, but great. But they weren't. It wasn't a Trump supporter. Did his job. So let's talk about the killings. Let's address this. I've got friends who are of Asian descent. So the killings in Georgia. 6 out of the 8 people who were killed were, I believe, Asian females. And the gentleman, I should call him gentleman, whatever, wasn't African American. Okay, said that apparently he was addicted to sex, so he just wanted to eliminate his addiction, which is weird. And I'll let you hit this, but if you're a pedophile, you're just gonna kill all the kids? Like, how does that go?
It does smell like a BS defense. Anyone who has any contact or connection to the Asian American community, be it Korean, Japanese, South Korean, North Korean, Japanese, Chinese, and also Indian American, Malaysian, Southeast Asian, Vietnamese, and all that, knows that these members of our community are being targeted now because of some of the rhetoric that came out of political bodies, be they the White House, the Orange Cheeto, or any other place, blaming this pandemic on Asian people of Asian descent. So we're going to find out whether this guy was actually motivated specifically against Asians, specifically against Asian massage therapists, or something else, or his own demonic proclivities.
What did he say? It was called the China virus, or what was it?
Trump said China virus, Asian virus, Wuhan virus. Yes, it did come out of there. And there are conspiracy theorists that still maintain that it was a lab-created virus in order to change the economic situation and the economic balance in China and in the world.
So I'm not an epidemiologist, but I do understand that sometimes you create a virus to see how it will react, and maybe perhaps some epidemiologists, virologists were saying that they did that in the lab and it was an accident. Perhaps they said what I've heard, it's not conspiracy, not Fox News. We report, you decide whatever. Well, they're on Bill Maher, so great source. What I heard,
on Bill Maher. I saw that.
They were saying that you do that all the time, and perhaps it got out and they tried to contain it. It's just interesting to me that they contained it, they got it, and they're good, and we're all still like trying to do what we're doing.
I find it amazing on multiple levels. Number one, when Trump came out calling it the China virus and the Wuhan virus, we're like, Trump is racist, just like he said Mexico is sending their worst when he ran for president, right? Now Bill Maher, a so-called banner holder of liberalism and liberal and progressive theology and philosophy, puts a set of scientists who have a similar, although more articulate, version of the same conspiracy theory. So where do we find the truth? How do we find the truth? How many news outlets do I have to read in the morning before I get suited and booted to go to work to figure out what the truth is? And I don't know when we're going to actually know that, because our government's relationship with truth has been, less tumultuous than Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
We will address that as well. That's a very, very good point.
I know I jumped ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I want to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by the Royce Smith Law Firm. Okay, I'm sorry out there. Nah, okay, wait. So, what's up, little guy? The American Kennel Club.
I know this actually gonna get on camera now.
Okay. So the American Kennel Club released its annual list of top breeds. The Labrador Retriever, the French Bulldog, and the German Shepherd are the top three. Just throwing it out there. Moving right along, Kirk Franklin. Okay, Kirk Franklin had an issue with his son, which is interesting because here's the thing. Black father being involved, son, I don't know what the situation is. There's three sides to every story. I just know he recorded it and put it out there. And everyone's coming at Kirk Franklin. I'm like, hey man, yo, sometimes you get into your feelings, okay? I mean, yo, listen, my dad would have, okay? Not just because he's stomp, whatever, but how do we feel about that?
Well, I mean, Kirk is famous for recording the song "Now Behold the Lamb," and some anti-strong parenting folks try to make him a sacrificial lamb in this here story. I remember my dad took my door off my room when I slammed the door. I don't know all the details. No one out there knows all the details. I do have a question. How many black males would not be in jail, on the street, on the corner, but would be graduating right now had their fathers spoke to them the same way? I don't know the answer to that question, but I think it's a question that deserves asking.
It's a great question, and Bill Cosby was very, very challenging for it. So now I want to, I'm just joking, Bill Cosby's great. Okay, so now what I wanted to do, every time we'll just keep one take. Every time we do one of these interviews, we relate to somebody that we know. So we want to know, we want the audience to know, Spotify, iTunes, shout out, great situation. National Podcast Association, we love you. So what's the nature of our relationship? We met at Barnes called 1518.
A local restaurant. I'm gonna go with restaurant. I'm an attorney. I got a law license, bro. We met at a restaurant, bro.
It was fine dining.
And started talking and started telling jokes, and I tried to overtake your comedic genius, which I can't do.
He's got a law degree.
I'm still trying to do it right now. I'm still trying to tell my jokes.
He can't have all the swag.
No matter what.
He's got a law degree, a master's degree.
I can't have. You got all the looks. I gotta have some swag.
See, okay. First of all, the camera sees you. He got some looks too. Okay. So met at 1518. Tell us, when did you first decide that or know that you wanted to be a lawyer?
I was 6 years old.
6 years old?
Yes.
So was it because you were watching the Cosby Show and
no, I was
Claire
not.
Huxtable came through?
No, my feelings for Claire Huxtable and Felicia Rashad are a little bit different than just legal. Lord have mercy.
she could. No,
Can we cut that one?
No, listen. One take. 6 years old.
Now, I'm a preacher's kid. Many generations over, we articulate arguments and positions on behalf of folks to make their lives better based on a set of laws and books and teachings and theologies and all of that. I never got the call to ministry. Law was the best place for me to get my preaching on. And that's why I go in the courtroom. That's my pulpit.
That is fascinating because Senator Warnock, he was on there from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He's a preacher.
Yes.
He was over there preaching about the legislation about the circular Jim Crow. My grandfather was a lawyer. Was a preacher. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Getting up there, articulating, having that message delivery. But passing the bar is one of the hardest things that people have told me, like, ever. So you went to.
It's not the hardest thing I've done in my legal career.
So okay, you're awesome. That's great. But
no. Surviving in a world where, 15% of the country is African American, but 4% of the lawyers are African American. Just the same way that 52 or 55% of the people in the country are women, but 20 or 25% of the lawyers are women. That struggle. Forget that test. Forget the multiple choice. You make multiple choices every day if you are a woman in this profession, if you are a person of color in this profession, if you have to go in a courtroom in this profession. God forbid you got to go outside of Philadelphia where they don't even have judges of color in this profession. That's the test that we pass every day as lawyers of color and lawyers of all sorts of genders and backgrounds and LGBTQ and all of that. That's the test that matters.
So, do you have like a signature case that you're really, really proud of?
I do. Most of my cases settle confidentially, so it's
Sure.
a little difficult. We have represented individuals who have lost their lives, who have lost limbs, who have lost children, be it by medical malpractice, drowning, horrific car accidents, burning in a multi-vehicle pileup on the highway.
The thing is, I want to add a little levity here. I Googled something, and there was someone who apparently lost their toe. So I think right here is where we're going to do like a little Harlem Nights thing about, you can shoot my pinky toe, okay? Yeah. You don't know Harlem Nights?
I do.
Okay, well, Google it. Okay, great. So I'm just throwing it out there. There's a bunch of different cases.
I have represented several clients who have had podiatric malpractice cases, including one who lost her toe. And we did actually, miraculously, earn her a substantial settlement in that case. I can't get but so detailed because it's a confidential settlement.
Well,
You'd be surprised what the value of a pinky toe is.
Let me ask you this, and not to put you on the spot.
Because I'm telling you right now, my client got more for her pinky toe than Della Reese got in Harlem Heights when Quick shot off.
No, but the thing is though,
Okay.
Della Reese was stealing on his face though. She was stealing, okay?
She got another show.
Yeah, okay.
She got another TV show.
She was the first one that had her own. We do Black First. She was the first one that had like a comedy show. Yeah, we'll get into that too. But I'm gonna ask you something, and this is something that I'm a salesperson, and everyone says they're the greatest. Tell me about a case where you really struggled. Not you're awesome, but I just want to know the process where you're like, sometimes you tell the client, listen, we don't got it, okay? We can go to trial, but our odds are not
This
good.
one I can talk about because we got a verdict in this case. Young gentleman was hanging out with two very attractive women. Let me stop myself before I get in trouble. Me too, Eric. And they're doing whatever they're doing into the wee hours of the morning and decide that they're hungry all of a sudden. They had munchies. And they walked down from not Grace Ferry, but Graduate Hospital down to Pat's and Gino's to get cheesesteaks. She says, can I get a piggyback ride? She jumps on his shoulders to get the piggyback ride. And she's like, well, you're not going fast enough. I think you should run.
Okay.
He starts running, blows out her knee. I mean, can I say that? he had better bangs than Jennifer Aniston ever had on Friends. That's what I'm gonna put it out there like that, and you can figure out what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And we tried that case for 3 days. How what the preacher say? 3 days. 3 days. And won the verdict. Substantial verdict, $100,000 for his blown out knee. Cross-examined both the two girls that he was with, caught them in all sorts of inconsistencies, but the folks in my firm who gave me that case are like, Royce thinks he can try a case. He can't try no case. We're going to give him literally the worst case in our large conglomerate corporate office. And I said, oh yeah, I got this. I got this. And sometimes you got to drop 81 on them. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Shout out to my Biden Bucks. Nice little microphone. We just trying to step our game. Listen, I got to throw it out there. My mom's over there throwing me. Mom, I love you. It's great. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is great. Okay. So let's talk about. So here's the weird thing. Ron Johnson, senator from Wisconsin, said, you know, we're going to go right now. So here's the thing I want to do. Race in America is so prevalent, and it's sometimes it's frustrating. And I feel like the pendulum has swung. Back in the day, you didn't want to talk about race because you didn't want to address it. Now, you talk about race in every situation. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but race is here. We're here now. And I think, and I'll say this, I want to patent this, the greatest contributor to the civil rights movement is Steve Jobs. He had a dream about someone who had an iPhone with a camera, and that camera captures stuff, and we see what's happened for so long. Rest in peace, Steve Jobs, great. I'm throwing out, I was trying to be profound, whatever, but I'm just saying. So now we see stuff, and Will Smith said it's only being captured before. And this guy says, you know, if it was Black Lives Matter coming to the Capitol, I would have been scared. But all the other people, they were good, you know, good Americans, this, that, and the third. I'm like, he said that on the record, a senator.
Of course.
So as a black man, a black lawyer in America, how do you think that the race situation is it?
Number one, Steve Jobs is not on my Mount Rushmore of racial heroes. I'll say that, number one. Number two, I agree with you on the pendulum. It always swings though. So in World War II, both my grandfathers served. In their generation, they're just trying to serve the country. They're getting drafted. And they had more equal rights as military men. I don't think there were women in the military at that time. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Then you come back home and then it swings right back. Then Jackie Robinson, a military man, integrates baseball. And then you get Roy Campanella, and you get Willie Mays, you get Hank Aaron, you get Satchel Paige and all that. You get the civil rights, you get Rosa Parks in Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. You get civil rights in the 60s. Then it swings in a different direction with the Nation of Islam and Black Panthers, and it swung too far for some folks to be able to stomach. Then by the 80s and by the Reagan era, hold on, so this is going to be a long one now. By in the 80s, the racial conversation, the majority of the racial conversation from what I remember growing up and from what I've read was more about crack and violence in urban areas and housing projects, right? Then in the 90s, you had Arsenio Hall and Bill Clinton. That's a different pendulum. We think a pendulum goes from left to right, from left to right. But I remember going down to the Franklin Institute looking at the pendulum. That pendulum goes in every which way. It swings every which way. So now we're on a different swing. But Black Lives Matter, in conjunction with Me Too, in conjunction with Time's Up, in conjunction with all of that, and in conjunction with the Proud Boys and the Trump movement and all of that. So it's going to continue to swing until we put down the baseball bats and stop swinging, literally in the case of the Capitol, and actually come together. But we're only going to be able to do that when we recognize each other face to face as family members in a humane society. And if you feel like your existence is threatened, and it's easy for someone to put that threat in terms of racial lines, it's going to be even harder to make that bond with your fellow brother, your fellow sister, the other man. or the other woman. And that's what I worry about the most, because there are people in this country who feel threatened on all sides. We're threatened by the police, and there are people in the sticks of Missouri that are threatened by lack of industrial jobs. They're threatened by Green New Deal. Not that they should be, but they are. So knowing all those threats exist, when are we going to get intelligent people at the table to have that conversation to really bring it all together?
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I told you it was going to be a long one.
No. Listen,
I had to go.
so again, we've never done this before. We would do this again. And I just want to throw out there, we predicted that the Bachelor Matt was going to marry a white woman. And then so you guys saw it. It was great. It was weird. Oh, okay. All right, cool. So we predicted it was the Bachelor. It was the first time there was a racial challenging situation. Matt looks super creepy when he kisses people. It's weird. Then he just so happened to get this girl. I think it's funny because Chris Harrison been on The Bachelor, the host, for 24 seasons.
23?
I think he tried to protect the franchise, the brand, and double down, saying it was okay for her in 2018 to do that. In 2021, it's not okay. And then so my thing is like, don't throw a brother in there because as like a band-aid, like hire a brother from the jump and understand. They had a good conversation. The gentleman from, what's his name?
You're asking me the name?
The football player. He was on the TV there.
Oh, Acho.
Yeah,
Played for the Eagles.
Acho.
Yeah.
I thought he did a fantastic job.
He's good. And
Yeah.
he's got a good book out, by the way. It's a great read if you ever want to check it out. It's a good book. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a good book.
Just to cover and close the door, the book on The Bachelor and the Kardashians. Apparently, Khloe wants another baby. Kanye got $6.6 billion. And the funny thing is, so we see the Grammys. Taylor Swift gets Album of the Year for 3 times. Beyonce's got 24 Grammys, which is the most ever. And circa Kanye still coming into the conversation and saying, hey, whatever, and I got $6.6 billion.
I got a rejection, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, drunk in love. Okay, yeah. So I think that's amazing.
Can I just say something about Beyonce real quick? And I do love Beyonce. I've seen her live in concert. She's fantastic. And there are very few artists who can sing at her vocal level and dance at her level at the same time. I give her props for that.
Janet Jackson.
Okay,
listen.
No, bro. No.
Sometimes.
No,
listen,
at no time. At no time was Janet singing on a vocal. I used to be a singer. There's
I
no
used to
way.
be a dancer. That's the culture.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now. Janet can't sing. Janet had a nice little life. Good for her. Now, let me say something. Nobody should have more Grammys than Michael Jackson and Prince. And that's all I got to say. That's it. Like, I don't like Beyonce, really? Beyonce? Over Aretha? Over Patty?
It's a popular
Got them. Right. Tom Brady's not the greatest football athlete of all time. He's the most accomplished quarterback of all time. Beyonce's the most accomplished, in Grammy terms, singer.
And something else.
She ain't got nothing on Michael or Prince, and you know it.
Listen, Michael's one of the greatest, but something else I want. Michael's one of the greatest.
What?
Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, all right. R. Kelly too. One thing I want to shout out is that this is important. This is important. Tiffany Haddish won a comedy album. Grammy for the comedy album, and she's a black woman. And the last black woman that got that was Whoopi Goldberg in like the early '80s. So shout out to Tiffany Haddish. I'm not a huge fan of
on a comedy album.
She got a Grammy on a comedy album, and the thing is, she was on the air doing her show when she found out, and she broke.
I would have said like Monique or
listen.
Some more.
Does Monique have a comedy album out? Hey, shout out to Tiff Haddish. We appreciate you.
No, true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's beautiful. She's great in the movies.
Yeah.
Just don't,
And then the other thing we want to address this. We have to address this. I'm a cult fan. Coming to America. Coming to America came out. So many people have feedback. Listen, everyone doesn't need to have a microphone, right?
Okay, I'm ready.
Everyone doesn't need to have a microphone. Listen, okay? This is brought to you by the Royce Smith Law Firm. Okay, we're running out of time. All right. Everyone doesn't need to have a microphone. 33 years later, they get the majority of the cast back together.
Amazing.
And what people need to understand, compartmentalize, is that we watch movies. We watch the United States versus Billie Holiday. We watch Selma. We watch Muhammad Ali. We watch the Black Panther movie. We watch Black Ray, Miss Bottom, Black. It's the last Chadwick Boseman's last movie. Miss Bottom, Black Ray, whatever. Okay. Anyway, true stories. What I'm saying is, you watch those movies and you feel a certain kind of way. You like, I can't believe that's how they were treated at that time. So Coming to America comes out. It's a black fairy tale. It's like Harlem Nights, great.
Great movie.
Coming to America, awesome. And then the follow-up, for me, it was nostalgic. They kept going back to scenes from the previous, and you got people behind the camera, writing, directing, and giving opportunities. That's what we need to focus in on. It was never going to be nominated for an Oscar, although Eddie Murphy is the most underrated performer ever. Sing, dance, action, multiple characters,
True.
Comedy.
True.
SNL.
One off, definitely one off. Yeah. I'll add this to. I just want to congratulate that entire entity for what they did. I know Eddie probably doesn't deserve all the credit, but I congratulate him and everybody else involved in that movie. Remember a couple years ago when Elvin from the Cosby Show was working at Trader Joe's, right?
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy and Arsenio and Oha and James Earl Jones and Wesley Snipes and Tracy Morgan and anybody else associated with that film made sure that everybody, Louis Anderson is in that movie. You almost called me. Is in the movie. I almost said it. Like, to get those people in the movie 33 years later, when Elvin struggles to get a job past Trader Joe's, that tells you how hard it is in Hollywood to keep people of color and people of that particular ilk employed and working. So congratulations to them. It was a hilarious movie. It was Leslie Jones tore that up too.
Right.
Leslie Jones was
amazing.
To me, she was the funniest one in the whole movie. Yeah. She had that movie on lock. Yeah. That's me. So I congratulate them for doing that, because there's a lot of Elvins out there. I don't even know his real name. I'm calling him Elvin. You know what I'm talking about.
We do want to point out, though, that most actors do have, I guess you could call it side work. They do jobs on the side to if the film doesn't work out. So great. That was fantastic. We're about to wrap this up. This was fantastic. I want to do this again. I appreciate you. Final thoughts.
You know where I work.
Yeah, exactly. Final thoughts?
Well, I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to you somewhere other than 1518.
I like it.
Shout out Willie.
Yeah, shout out Willie.
Shout out Willie. I think it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And we should do this some more.
Absolutely. We always like to leave you guys with this. So everyone, just so you know, we're running a promotion. So if you can like, subscribe, click. If you like, subscribe, comment, share, you're entering into a raffle. If you frequent the Royce Smith Law Firm. Oh, hey, don't do that.
That's actually good.
It's all good. That's all. If you frequent any one of the local businesses that we featured, you get 10 raffle tickets. We're going to do this at the conclusion of our season. We have about 7 more episodes. First place is $100. Second place is $75. Third place $50. Fourth place $25. You guys have been awesome. We'll see the commercial. Next week, we're going to feature Range. We'll see a teaser on that. I always like to leave you guys with this. Life is short. Live it to the fullest. Learn as much. People say when you're done learning, you're pretty much done. Love the ones you love. A lot of people we've lost this year. So the people that you love, tell them that you love them, hug them. And I'm a comedian. Live, love, learn, laugh. That's it. Amen. Appreciate you.
Amen, baby. Amen.
Got it.
All right. Top 10 in Pennsylvania. One more again. Shout out Royce Smith. Choice is Royce. Holla at your boy.
And the dog.
DJ LO-L here. We always feature local business in every episode that we have Between Two Perms. This week we got a real treat for you. What location are we at right now?
I forget what
Don't worry, one take. We're in Germantown. We're doing karaoke, and the reason I'm saying that is because
private party spot.
There you go. The reason I'm saying that is because I was out there singing karaoke and they said I could sing. I can't really sing. I need a little extra something in my life to get to the next level. So that's where you bring someone to the equation like Range. This is a very, very talented individual, and you've got a business where you develop people.
I do artist development. So with artist development basically is what I teach creatives how to be a professional creative. People that sing, that rap, that do poetry, and I help public speakers.
Okay.
So anybody that's trying to enhance their ability to communicate through the medium of vocal art, and I just made that up.
Medium of vocal art. Did you hear that? I like it.
That was pretty dope. That's what I do. That's what I do. So
wait. Can you give them a sample of your talent? Like time after time, sing it out for
If you're lost and you look, and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time.
is that cool?
That's good. That's good.
And that was like a really on the spot.
We're right next to studio. My mom was always concerned about hearing everybody, so make sure that we're loud enough so my mom could hear. And then I saw you doing something about 2020 rapping or something like that. Throw some bars.
Yeah, so
throw some bars real quick.
I keep it a beam, spent my years peeping the scene. In the park watching the gangster teens, peeping they lean. Seen the bullets fly, had a couple burners pointed at me, ran from the vice. Cause they were slamming brothers wrong or right. They gave a fuck about your life, and I never had no drugs on me. It's just the hood was my formative scene, and we seemed to be that we conveniently was taught about guns and the drugs. Anyway, you know, that's parts. Hip-hop.
Parts.
Hip-hop.
He's multi-talented. Developing, if you're someone that's aspiring to be on American Idol or some of the voice or something like that, and you want to take
If
yourself to
you
the
would
next
like to do music for a living, then I help you be a professional. If you're shy, if you're nervous, if you're just trying to get rid of jitters, I help you understand why you shouldn't be nervous and shy. And so I'm just here to make you better.
So let me ask you this question: What would set you apart from other people out there that try to do the same thing in your space?
Honestly, there's not very many people that do what I do.
Okay.
If we're being just blunt, like there are a lot of people that do vocal training, but vocal training doesn't teach you to be an artist. Like we deal with the psychology of what it takes to exist in the music industry. We deal with image. We do production, songwriting. So it's just kind of a one-stop shop to put you in a space to give you expertise on how the industry works. I don't really have what I would consider to be competition in this area. I'm not saying that nobody else does it.
He's humble, but he's good at it. Trust me, he's good at what. Like I said, I always know the people that we bring into this. How long we known each other?
6-7 years.
Yeah, I only promote businesses that I know and that I trust and I respect. Now, where do you see your business going in the next couple of years in your space? What are goals for yourself?
Well, trying to break a major artist into the industry. So there's what I do freelance on my own,
okay,
and then there's what I do with my partner's crew. And so crew is a production team, and so on my own, then I work with people, and then my production team is just really trying to break artists into the industry at a high level. And so we've had some successes individually within the company of guys that work with people like Jasmine Sullivan and guys that have worked on TV shows like Empire and have developed groups like Good Girl and got helped acts like Bree Steves get their start. So I'm just working with guys that have already done a bunch of stuff. So there's what I do on my own, and then there's what I bring into the crew. You know what I mean?
Okay. Other thing is, first of all, shout out to all your. We've been promoting some of these pages on our page on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So let's tell everybody your social media information, platforms,
yeah.
how they can get a hold of you.
You can follow me at Range Da Messenger. That's Range, RANGEDA, Messenger spelled GA, not ER. Range Da Messenger. You can follow crew at C.R.E.W7. Create results, everyone wins, man. I'm about community, I'm about culture, and I'm about, forwarding us.
Gotcha. At this point, we just say final thoughts. Anything else you want to just throw out there while we got this?
Peace and love. That's it. If you're looking to be developed, if you're looking to take your thing to the next level, get at me and let's work.
Live, love, learn, and laugh. DJ
all those
LO-L.
things.
You got it.